Hello there, welcome to Talking Balearics. This is me, Martin Makepeace, in a very hot, humid and stifling Ibiza.
It's very similar.
What say you, Richie? What say you?
It's very similar here in Mallorca, Mark, but I hear back in the UK they're having the same as well.
Yeah, no, apparently it's hotter than Ibiza in the UK, as we're hearing, mate.
So see, on the headlines.
I'm not sure about that, to be honest, mate. It might be hotter than Skegness or something like that, but it's definitely not hot in Ibiza. I mean, it's gone, hasn't it, Rich? We got a weather warning in, 3-day weather warning. I see over there you're getting it worse than we are.
Yeah, it's I've been working this morning in Palma, and it is very, very hot. It's touching 40 degrees. So
yeah,
it's just look, it's what we signed up for, Mark. We can't moan. You know what I mean? You know,
absolutely.
We moaned it was too cold earlier on in the season. Now it's too hot. It's always the way, isn't it? But anyway,
never happy. Maybe we're British, so we like talking about weather.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
exactly.
How are you, Rich?
Yeah, good. Very busy. I think, we talked last week. I mean, you mentioned last week it's slowed down a bit. I think that's sort of the corner is being turned as we speak, Mark.
It was a very small blip, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. All of a sudden, people are starting arriving. I definitely think it's the World Cup effect. People waiting to see where teams will finish and everything else and what they're doing. I see you're sporting your England type again today.
Of course, mate. Of course.
Because we're playing, obviously, we're recording this on a Tuesday just before England play against Ghana. So, listen, I think some people will probably want to come away and watch it abroad rather than watch it at home back in the UK. So I think it's going to change very soon. And well, it has changed already since we spoke last week, to be honest.
Exactly. I think it was just, a couple of weeks, Rich, and I think middle of June, we said it last week, we won't say it again, but it's just a little bit of a downtick, but we're over it now. But anyway, this is Talking Balearics. Myself, Martin in Ibiza, Richie Pryor over there in our big brother or big sister. What are you, big brother, big sister of Island of Mallorca?
Definitely brother.
Big brother of Island of Mallorca. Yeah. This is our Talking Balearics podcast where we discuss the issues of the week. So please like, comment and subscribe. What do you have for me this week, Richie?
A little bit of politics. I don't know if you saw the news of the Spanish ministers, particularly the transport minister, sentenced to 24 years in jail for corruption over the mask scandal in the pandemic.
No, I didn't see that, Rich.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I like a bit of corruption.
Yeah, no, well, never happens over here, Rich.
No, of course
never happens over here.
Of course not. So that's we want to report on that, or I was going to have a little chat on that. And continue on the politics theme, I'm interested to know that, obviously, seismic news in the UK yesterday, that the UK Prime Minister resigned. That's 7 Prime Ministers we've had in I don't know how many years, 10 years, isn't it?
11 years, I believe, Rich, actually.
I think
7-11. There you go.
Even the Spanish are laughing at us these days, you know what I mean? How many prime ministers we've had? It's like a revolving door at number 10, isn't it?
It really is.
But I'm interested to know what policies Andy, because everybody's saying that Andy Burnham's your man, but nobody knows what ticket he's coming in on. Do you know what I mean? He could be doing anything for all we know, And what really wound me up yesterday was obviously Keir Starmer, obviously, he resigned and everything else. And then all those MPs having their photo taken with Andy Burnham in Parliament later on when he was sworn in. You think, yeah, you turncoats. Do you know what I mean? You're always all there. Listen, I'm not keen on politicians. There's some I don't mind, to be honest with you, but very few I like. And they're all in it for their own game and nobody else's. That's their problem for me. So anyway, I'm interested to know what Burnham is, particularly with regards to freedom of movement.
Yeah. There's your angle. That's what I knew. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the angle there, Richard.
Yeah, I know. I can tell.
Snuck it in there.
I could tell. And then we should talk about Real Mallorca have a new coach.
Okay, I haven't seen that. So you can reveal it to me there. That's good.
Yeah. So that's what I got for you this week.
Okay, Rich. I've got a few things. First of all, there is a certain segment of the market that seems to be diminishing a little bit. So we'll talk about that. Also, there's a very famous resort, which I'm probably associated with. Not going to give too much away, obviously. There has it got an identity crisis? Let me do that again because that didn't come out very well, did it? Has it got an identity crisis? I'll clip that. Don't worry on the way in. So someone thinks it has, and it's quite interesting. Third of all, Rich, I've got a little breakdown. We know we're doing these top charts these days, aren't we? So I did it on the the renaming of San Antonio last week, but there was a great article in the paper this week telling us the top 10 dishes of Ibiza. So I thought I'd go through that. So we like a bit of foodie, don't we? You know, there's a lot of foodie.
Does KFC come in there?
No, it doesn't, mate. And Abdul's kebab shop's not in there either, which I was slightly disappointed about.
So Abdul.
Oh yeah. So we've got that. We've got the top 10 of the local cuisine, and also at the end, someone brought this to my attention yesterday, which I thought I'm going to flag up on the podcast, because a little bit about clubs. I mean, clubbing is very important to Ibiza, but there was some not so good feedback, which I'll go on to as well, Rich. So should we start off with your first item, Richie?
Well, actually, can I just touch on something that I know we talked about last week, because I blogged about it last week, and I didn't know that you but in particular were the people I was talking about.
Go on, mate.
We're talking about Panini sticker collectors.
Yeah,
it was something that I'd seen in the news, and so I blogged about it. And it was one of the things, obviously, that we grew up with. You know, that was one of the big things we used to do in the playground. You know, got it, need it, got it, need it.
I mean, this is off the back of the World Cup, though, isn't it? Really?
So, on the back of the World Cup. So I remember my first sticker collection was 1974, the 1974 World Cup. It was held in Germany, of which England didn't qualify, actually.
No, they didn't.
And Scotland did qualify for that one, and that was my very first sticker book. There you go. Look at that. That's an old Argentina, 1978.
Argentina 78.
That must be worth. Is it full up?
It's full, Rich. Yeah, and it's given free with Scoop. I know you were like a big Scoop reader as well, weren't you? So if you see
Scoop or Shoot?
No, Scoop. So it says given free. See that? So I've got
Scoop. Okay.
I've got a full 1978. It's not Panini though, Rich. This one I'm not that sure. But if you're talking Panini, let me show you my two pride and joys. I've got Panini 79 there. Look, so you can see 79, which is full.
You'll never live this down in the clubs when you go out now.
Panini 79, and also let me give you the Panini 1980 as well.
Oh, my word. So, and all full up?
Well, I've got one missing in one and three missing in the other. So, I've got Terry Neal missing on Arsenal. Look at that! I can't believe Terry Neal missing.
What a legend!
But it's funny because I got these. But I mean, I was a mad collector. Anything to do with football, Rich. You know me. I still am. Anything I collect anything to do with football. I've got this old top on now. So Panini. I grew up with Panini, and I actually bought some Panini stickers the other day as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was in a petrol station in England when I was doing something, and I had a spare £1.50, so I bought some Panini ones. So I threw them away now, unfortunately, because Daniel, my youngest son, kept Ruben Diaz, and I kept Michael Elise. So there you go, mate.
And this is a full sticker album. He's worth a bit of money these days, Mark. You know,
I might chuck them online actually, mate, because my kids aren't interested, and they're just sitting in the loft, mate. So it's no point, is it? So okay, mate, that was a nice little
nice little start.
Yeah, exactly. So,
who knew Martin was a sticker collector?
Yeah, I know, sticker collector. What's your first item, Rich?
Well, it's the corruption case that's been going on over here in Spain. The Spain Supreme Court on Monday sentenced former Transport Minister Jose Luis Abalos to 24 years for offences which included kickbacks from the purchase of face masks during the pandemic. His former advisor, Caldo Garcia. Caldo, if you know in your Spanish, is it's like a soup, isn't it? He's right in the soup, this fella. Was sentenced to 19 years for running a criminal organisation, the aim of which was to obtain and profit by the virtue of the office held by Abalos, basically. This marked the conclusion of the first trial, resulting from investigations that are being lumped together under a general heading of Caso Coldo, the origin of which party lay with contracts Freemaster entered into the Balearic government, of which Francina Armengol, of course, as we know,
she's heavily implicated, Rich, isn't she? She's
implicated, yes, and obviously we need to be careful what we say.
No, exactly, yeah. No, allegedly. She's implicated in it by there, but she's allegedly, implicated.
So according to Margaret Prohens, she's saying that the PSOE government, who was the former government that was leading the Balearics at that time, she's saying that they turned the Balearics into the centre or epicenter of corruption. She said,
"Funny that, isn't it, Rich? That we I mean, the thing is, I mean, it absolutely stinks to high heaven. How is Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, getting away with this, Rich? I mean,
don't know.
The mud doesn't seem to be sticking, does it?
No, but you know what it's like, Mark. The only problem is that we do have an election. Nobody's going to have a majority again, and we're going to be scrapping around trying to find somebody who can go into coalition with somebody else, as Sanchez did the last time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know how many times was it 3 times it took him to actually try and form a government, and even then, it wasn't. You know, he did it with the Basque separatists and the boys from
Catalonia. Yeah, I mean, he's given them. He's let them off, haven't they? The jail sentences. I mean, it stinks to our heaven. I was having this argument with someone the other day about Pedro Sanchez, because I've got no love for Pedro Sanchez. You know, I think he's a very insincere. He's about sincere as Andy Burnham is. I think really Pedro Sanchez. But
I mean that's the problem, Mark. You know,
I'll let you come on to that
in the introduction. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're all out for themselves, and particularly when you find a coalition government, it's even worse. Well, do you know what I mean?
It's scrappy. I mean, I mentioned before. There's the Rest is Politics leading podcast where Sanchez, one, he speaks very good English, and 2, he just comes across as someone who's desperate to cling on to power. And I think, I mean, the Abalos case and is it the Caldo case, isn't it? Caldo's case. I mean, it's just shocking, and also it puts the Balearics in a really bad light, Rich, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, totally. And you just wonder sometimes where all your money's going. But anyway,
24 years though, Rich. I mean, that's a serious sentence. Spanish don't usually do that, do they? They usually give them they give him a slap on the wrist and maybe 6 or 7 years. But I see a bit like the SNP guy got 5 years today, didn't he? So, you know, it's just corruption from top to bottom, isn't it, Rich? It really is.
Well, so that nicely leads into, we talk about Andy Burnham. Obviously, yesterday was a bit of a seismic change in the politics in the UK with Sir Keir Starmer resigning from his post, and then Andy Burnham turning up on the the 252 from Euston to Manchester, or Manchester to Euston as it was, and then they couldn't find him at the station, which I thought was quite funny. And then he got into a black cab, and Andy, along with the man of the people.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to come. It's all going to come crashing down, mate, isn't it? I'm afraid. I hope I'm. By the way, I really hope I'm wrong, Rich, because even though I'm not allowed to vote in the UK and I haven't worked there for haven't lived there for 35 years, I always like to see a strong UK. A strong UK is good for us in the Balearics, because a strong UK means people have got money in their pockets, which means they travel.
Totally. But I'm also interested to know, because obviously Starmer was basically talking about freedom of movement and whether there would be a special sort of visa or pass for kids between the ages of 18 and 30. So they could travel abroad for, I think they were offering them 2 or possibly 3 years free travel, if that makes sense. So I'm interested to know if that case, if that sort of policy is still going to be chased.
Well, Starmer didn't fancy it. No, Starmer didn't fancy it, did he? He kept avoiding it all the time, so he didn't fancy it.
I was told that they were talking about it, and they were only for the youngsters, not obviously a carpet return back to the EU and everything else. But this is one of the policies that they were definitely talking about. But as I say, I think it's an important subject, particularly for both people who live here on the Balearics, as in kids of our kids' age. Do you know what I mean? That want to travel back to the UK, because right now it's a lot more difficult, of course, to get and then to find work. Likewise for Brits travelling abroad and wanting to get work, it's very, very difficult these days.
Well, let's see. I mean, the thing is, it's a Talking Balearic show, but the UK, believe it or not, the UK politics affects us greatly over here, doesn't it? Because the main market, in which I'll talk about in a minute, of San Antonio is British. I think the Brits are the second most important segment of arrivals, tourists here, after Spanish, which is of course the national tourism, and then it's English, it's British, should I say. So it's really important. So a strong UK economy is a strong Balearic economy. Yeah. And let's see what happens. But I'd like to see Burnham come in, maybe closer ties with Europe, maybe customs union. Just get a handle on it, Rich, because I just think Starmer just let it go, didn't he? He was a weak man. I thought he was a weak leader, and I won't be sorry to see him go. Talking about freedom of movement, Rich, that leads nicely into my first story, because there is a nationality that seems to be having a little hiccup coming to Ibiza. and it's your strongest nationality over there, Rich, which is, of course, the Germans, isn't it? Whereas over here, the Germans seem to be losing interest in Ibiza. So it's pretty significant, really, because, Ibiza has been built on this international reputation of everyone coming over, but the Germans seem to have caught a bit of a cold. The Dutch have probably stepped in their way, but at the end of the day, Ibiza has talked about moving away from volume tourism and attracting visitors who stay longer and spend more, which is ironically what the Germans market do. That's why we like the German market. They stay longer. They're not really weekend travelers, Rich. They come for a week or 2 weeks or even longer, and more often than not, the German market is held up as our perfect market because, they spend longer and spend more money. But unfortunately, the numbers are going down now, which is quite surprising, really. I think the German economy's got a bit to do with it because I think they're struggling a little bit over there, aren't they? It's the major economy of Europe, but realistically, it looks like they're falling out of love with Ibiza a little bit, which is quite surprising, really, because they absolutely adore Mallorca, don't they?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, the enclaves of Peguera, down the south of the island. Then you've got Campastia, Playa de Palma, Arenal, massive German presence. Also Calarajada in the north as well. So, yeah, it is. Let's see.
I mean, when I walked around Palma, I think last time I was there at the start of the year, even in the winter, you still hear all the German voices, don't you? So it plays such an important part. But it's funny, really, because I'm not sure what they're like in Menorca. They're pretty non-existent in Formentera. So I think really they're just emanating towards Mallorca these days. Because if they do continue to go down in Ibiza, which wouldn't surprise me, then they'll be you as the main flag bearer over there in Mallorca for the German market.
Do you want to carry on, Mark? Because I've done a couple of mine already. So.
Yeah. The other thing, mate, I mean, talking about, you just talked about, what were those places again that you said with the big German...
Peguera, Campastia, Playa de Palma, Arenal.
Yeah, so when you think of those places, you think of big German markets. When you think of San Antonio, what do you think of, Rich?
Oh, the Brits.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brits love San An.
And I think San Antonio, basically, I would say 60% British. I would say maybe even more. I think might be even touching 70% with the initial figures. However, the group of hoteliers San Antonio hoteliers, the ones who run and operate the hotels, have come out and said, listen, at the end of the day, San Antonio is not what it was. It's spent millions and millions and millions investing in new hotels, infrastructure. We've gone on about the Acuda San Miguel street art, the new boulevard. There's things happening all the time. There's new plans to build the infrastructure, but they're decrying the fact that basically one bad thing in San An, maybe a balcony fall or maybe drunken hooliganism for one, goes viral, and they say basically we're tarred with the same brush all the time. And over all the years that they're spending trying to get San Antonio to have a better reputation, one or two bad posts means that everyone just goes and says, oh, same old San Antonio. So the question is, Rich, if the media just still focus on the worst behaviour, can San Antonio ever shake off the image that it had from back in the 70s and 80s?
Well, weirdly enough, as you should say that, because I've blogged about this. They've asked me to blog about this week about Magaluf, because there's a big inauguration of the new promenade in Magaluf on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm going down there. Actually, they've got a big Philharmonic orchestra. They've got a drone show, which is going to be quite interesting. And let's face it, Magaluf has turned the corner. It's now a resort that has 80% 4- and 5-star hotels. Lots of, I mean, when I went through some of the brands that have sort of arrived in Mallorca, in Magaluf now, when you look at, the hotels, Melia, Globales, Fergus, Dreams, lots of good hotel companies. Nikki Beach, of course, is there. Five Guys have arrived. Starbucks are in. Mango, Springfield, Decathlon. All these sort of businesses are growing into which you never used to see before. No. It was always the old bars, cafes, restaurants, and souvenir shops. That's what it pretty much was. And then Aldi and Lidl have built massive supermarkets in the town as well now. So it's Magaluf has changed.
It's an exciting time for Magaluf, isn't it?
Yeah. And when I sort of went back and I sort of looked back on, when I first arrived in 1990 to what it is today, it is so different. I sort of went back on, looking at the old Club 1830, sort of how they got people to come to Mallorca and everything else. It was all about, sun, sand, sea, and sex and everything else. And even the family.
You mean the good old days?
Yeah. way before phones and everything else. Even the families, it was basically a 3-star bucket and spade sort of type of holiday that you came on. And you knew that if you were coming to Magaluf, you'd have a lovely beach and everything else. But the nightlife would be lively. Do you know what I mean? But they had bars that were catered for families. There was like bars like Manos and Benny Hills and those sort of places were very much for families.
You get me all teary now that the nostalgia's got Benny Hills and Manos and gosh, those are the days.
You come there now. Well, listen, Benny Hills and Manos are still there. That's detriment to how well they've done over the years.
They are, mate. But I'm thinking about the Manos t-shirts from back in the day when you used to buy a Manos t-shirt, didn't they?
Yeah. They were the good thing that you had.
But Rich, it's a good thing though, Rich. Listen,
totally.
I mean, this is a thing, and I know we could wax lyrical for the last hour how Magaluf's changed, how San Antonio's changed, but it's a fantastic thing. I think it's very interesting the way Magaluf has really grabbed the bull by the horns and has gone for this family 4-star market, hasn't it? Really, Palma Nova and things like that. They've really gone for it. Whereas San An, it hasn't. Right, it's still retaining that youth aspect, and that's what the hoteliers are saying now, Rich. Where they're saying, "Listen, we've spent all this money, but yet one bad article in the place, and it's same old San An."
I think, Ibiza's moved. I mean, since you and I first arrived, Mark, Ibiza did have quite a lot of family resorts, didn't it?
Yeah.
And
we don't have those anymore, Rich.
I was about to say there doesn't seem to be any, which maybe that's where San An should go. Do you know what I mean? Because there are people that still want that sort of family type of holiday, but still want that little bit of edge to their holiday.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And they could be, they could be the ravers of 20 years ago with their kids now that might actually want us to go out and have a one night out of a bit of raving themselves. Do you know what I mean? While they're there. So it wouldn't be a bad thing for San An, I don't think, to actually position themselves as the sort of the family market resort, but with that edge to it as well.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because a hotel's just opened up just down the road from me in San An Bay called the Coral Star. It's been bought by the Ocean Drive Group, which is a big hotel chain over here. They've got some place in Talamanca. They've got one just in Marina Botafoc. Coral Star, and they've come up with a great concept, Rich. It's called Adults and Kids Only. Okay, right. Which I can't quite work out who they're pitching to there because I mean, where's the dog going to stay? But exactly that, Rich. What they're marketing at is basically a family holiday with edge. You know what I mean? You're in Ibiza. It's an edge. It's an edgy. They've got kids clubs. It's a really smart place. They've obviously spent a lot of money doing it, but it's the first concept to do with families that have opened for a long time. So I think they've seen a gap in the market and gone, hold on a minute, all these adult-only hotels are opening everywhere. We're actually going to cater for that segment of the market. So it literally is opened in the last couple of days. It's called the Coral Star in San Antonio Bay, been bought by the OD Group, the Ocean Drive Group. As I said, it's a very different concept, Rich. I'll be interested to see how it gets on.
Should we talk about Mallorca's new manager?
Who is it, Rich? I haven't seen this one yet. Who is it?
Luis Garcia.
Oh yeah, he's been there before, hasn't he?
No, that was Luis Garcia Plaza.
Oh right, so funny that, isn't it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Silly me. That was the other guy, the other Luis Garcia, was it?
There's plenty of Luis Garcias around. You should know that. This is Luis Garcia Fernandez, a former Real Mallorca player. Actually, he played for Mallorca from 2004 to 2005. Played 37 times. But he's better known at Espanyol, where he played 220 games for Espanyol. But he's just finished managing Las Palmas in the second division. He got them into the playoffs. So he's where we're hanging our coat now, Mark. He's the man that hopefully is going to get us back up again. We shall see.
It sounds like he's got the right CV for it, Rich.
He's got a Mallorcan pedigree, which is great. He's managed the team in the second division, Las Palmas last season, got them into the playoffs, which I think Mallorca will want to finish first or second, not worry about a playoff next season. So, he's got that pedigree. let's see. So, Mark, you don't know, do you? You're sort of swinging a little bit in the wind. You know, you could put UAR in there at the minute and just and see if we could do it, but obviously we can't. But do you know what I mean? So let's see. And hopefully he's going to be able to sway quite a lot of the players to stay on. Obviously, we've lost Muriqi, we've lost Maffeo. We're going to probably lose. Not there. Sorry, I'm thinking of Samuel Costa. He's away with Portugal at the moment, so we obviously have to wait till he comes back. And a couple of other players that are playing. There's the left back's playing for Colombia as well. He's going definitely. So there's a few players that are going. It's important that he can try and keep. I think a nucleus of the team that was there last season. Do you know what I mean? In order that we can bounce straight back up again.
Yeah, no, I think it's good, Rich. I mean, you need someone who's tried and tested that level as well, Rich, don't you?
Definitely.
So important. You go trying to remember who got promoted from the playoffs last week. Do you remember?
It was Malaga.
Malaga, wasn't it? Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
So it was 0-0 in the first.
I saw Antonio Banderas did a big thing about it as well because he's a big Malaga fan, isn't he? So it was online.
Yeah. So Malaga went to Almeria and won 2-1.
2-1,
which is a great result for them. So Malaga have gone up. So congratulations to them.
Big side.
Yeah, they are.
Have you ever
huge?
You know, if you go to Malaga, have you been to Malaga? You go up to the top of the castle. You look down, and the Malaga ground just absolutely.
It's massive. I know. I've not been there, but
mate, it absolutely. It sticks out there as well. It rules that landscape. A massive team, Malaga are, mate.
And it'll be interesting to see how they get on, Mark, because they've gone up with quite a youthful team, actually, to be honest with you, because they haven't had a lot of money. I don't know if you've kept tabs of what Malaga did. They've been badly run over the years. Do you know what I mean? And so they've basically come up with a team of youngsters, really, to be honest with you. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of money they've got to spend in order that they can, cement their position. Because as we know, it's not easy when you get to La Liga, same as it is in the Premiership as well. So
not at all, Rich. Now let's go on to something which is probably your second favourite thing after football, Rich, isn't it?
What, food?
Food, exactly. Yeah, right. Now, so if I were to say to you, right, what's your favourite local dish? Go on.
Oh, favourite local dish. Well, I suppose if you could call roast lamb a favourite local dish, because we get it's either lamb or suckling pig.
Right. Okay. What's it called?
That's for me. Cochinillo, we call it.
Cochinillo, yeah.
Or lechona.
I'm not sure that's a local dish, Rich. I think that's a Spanish. I think that's a Spanish dish. I'm talking about a Mallorca.
Oh, local. Okay, so we're going to go local. Pan bolli. I'm a favourite of pan bolli.
What's pan bolli?
Pan bolli is bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's bread. So hold on. Let me get this right. No, your local food favourite is bread.
No. It's Mallorquin bread. Okay.
Right, okay.
Mallorquin bread that has tomato spread on it, possibly garlic if you wish as well, olive oil, salt, and then you can add hamon iberico, hamon serrano. I don't know if you wish. You can add cheese to it. You can add chorizo to it, whatever you want on top, or you can just have it plain.
Pan bolli, I do like. We have pan cristal over here, which is a little bit similar.
Yeah, well, you're upmarket.
I know, mate, as well. Have you ever heard of quinat, Rich?
Quinats is isn't that like quails? Is it quails?
It's a vegetable stew from Mallorca.
Quinats? No, never.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It just came up on my list as well. So anyway, there's a report in the paper now. We're doing these top tens, aren't we? Just lately. So and I always put that nice background music in it. So which really effective online on our clips as well. So here we go with the top 10 favorite traditional Ibiza dishes. Okay, number 10, orejetes. Do you know what that is?
No clue.
It's like a donut type thing. It's like a biscuity thing as well. Okay, number 9, calamar a la bruta, which is obviously calamars, which is squid. And that's going to be with, if I'm not mistaken, it's with sobrasada. So you have squid and sobrasada together. So I mean, I know, yeah, very nice as well. Number 8, we've got borrida de rachada.
No idea.
Which is a fish stew made with skate. Now, number 7, one of my favourites, arroz de matantha. It's absolutely
Is that
beautiful.
Like arroz brut that we have here?
It's
like a paella, but done in a broth.
Yeah, exactly that, Rich. It's like a arroz de matantha. It's like a big stew with because you do the matantha, which is where you kill the pig. It's a big local thing.
Yes,
You're not allowed to do that anymore, Rich. By the way, so allegedly you're not allowed to do it.
Let's just say allegedly you're right. Yeah,
nudge, wink, wink.
I'll tell you a story about it off air if you want.
So Rothamatantha is like a broth with the pork in, and it's delicious, and I absolutely love that. 6, we've got ensalada paisa, which I don't know if you have that over there, which is
obviously a salad of whatever.
Yeah, it's got potatoes
peasant salad.
Exactly that peasant salad. It's got potatoes, it's got tomatoes. It's got egg in. It's absolutely delicious. Number 5, we've got frit the pulp. Okay, which is obviously frit the pulp is octopus. So fried octopus with potatoes and a little bit of veg in there as well. Now, top 4, one of my favorites. Number 4, grashanera, which is it's basically, you don't know anything about this, Rich, do you? I'm surprised. Grashanera is like bread and butter pudding, Ibiza style. Okay, grashanera. What they do, you know, the ensamadas that you get in.
Oh right, so we have it here, Mark. It's called pudding. Here it's called
pudding. Yeah, no, it's very similar to pudding. Yeah. So So basically, the
Pudin for anybody, not pudding.
Pudding. Yeah,
Pudin. Yeah,
I love
the
that
old
name.
offcuts from ensamada. Yeah,
exactly. Well, what it is, what you do, the ensamadas, which is like the sweet bread, when they go stale, they put them all in together, they mix them up, and they make bread and butter pudding. So grashanera, which is an absolute staple of mine. Top 3, and I love these 3. Sofrit poyes, which is again is a big stew, but it's not in a broth. It's basically the pork and the lamb and the beef. It's all in there, and it's with potatoes and it's fried. It's beautiful. Sofrit poyes, one of my favorite. Number 2 is flau. You know what that is, Rich? Flau. No. Again, it's another pudding. It's a mint pudding. I won't say it's bread and butter. I'm trying to think. It's called flau. How do you do it? How do you explain it? It's like a cake type thing. It's like a hard cake, but it's very minty, but it's beautiful. And number 1, which has no surprise whatsoever, is bouillit de pêche. Bouillit de pêche.
Which is a fish stew, I imagine.
Which is a fish stew, exactly that. Yeah. A very famous place in Calamastaya up the north of the island called Bigottis, and they do the most famous bouillit de pêche on the island. And you can get it all over the island, but it's a very speciality. So there's your top 10 Ibiza dishes for 2026.
I don't have anything else unless you do.
Well, I've got a thing about clubs, Rich. I mean,
tell us.
You know, it's just a little thing, a little bit of feedback, and I don't want to finish on a negative, but I've got a couple of friends who deal in transport, and they said they've been getting a lot of feedback this last couple of weeks about the clubs in Ibiza, the super clubs, being too busy. Okay, now I think it throws up quite a few talking points, which we're not going to go into too much detail, but I think it's just worth mentioning, Rich, because obviously the super clubs are so popular these days that the very big nights, the Getters and the Marca Corolla at Pasha and the Black Coffee at High, and these nights, literally you can't move in there, Rich. They are absolutely squashing you in. They're squashing you in there, and all it takes is one accident, Rich, and we're in trouble, aren't we? So I'm going to flag it up this week as well. And if anyone else is out there and they hear the same things, then let's talk about this, because at the end of the day, Ibiza is all about clubbing. But if the clubbing experience isn't as good as it should be because you're too busy, you're like sardines in the actual club, then there is going to be consequences for that as well. And as I said, I'm not going to wish anything negative on, but all it takes is one bad incident and the whole of the industry gets tarred as well. So something we need to probably talk about.
I think it's important to know that every club or a restaurant, bar even, and theatre has something called an aforo, which is a legal capacity that they're allowed to sort of take in, and normally they have to display that legal capacity on the door as you come in, so you know how many people are actually allowed in that establishment. So I would hope that the clubs are adhering to those numbers.
Well, I think what happens, Rich, because there's such a turnover, there's a churn of people going through the clubs
in and out.
So I think, say, one of the big clubs would be 3,000, 4,000 people. They might sell 10,000 tickets, but any one time people stay for an hour, stay for 2 hours, or stay for all night as well. And it's a really good point you make there about the foro, Rich, because no one really bothered about it before COVID, did they? COVID came in and no one even worried about foros. They used to stick them in there. And then COVID came in and obviously the foros became very, very important as well. So I'm just going to flag that up this week and, maybe a talking point for the future. We like to be ahead of the curve here on Talking Balearics, don't we? So, talk about that. Anyway, Rich, predictions for tonight. England, Ghana, what are you saying?
Well, I thought we played well last time. Ghana were a bit disappointing when they played Panama. Of course, they won 1-0 in the last minute, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or they do have Antoine Semenyo amongst their group, who's a very good player, but one
London born, by the way, Rich.
Yeah, well, of course, but one player doesn't make a team. So I think we should be quite comfortable tonight. 2-0, I'll go.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Rich. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go with a Harry Kane double because I just think the big strikers are coming to the fore.
They are, aren't they? Messi yesterday, Mark. I mean, God dear, what is he
and
on?
Haaland as well, being a pseudo Man City fan, the big strikers, and I think the attacking football everyone's playing this time round is really suiting some players. So I'm going to go 2-0 England, Harry Kane double. There you go, mate.
And our man Vazino, we talked about Vazino last week, if you can remember, on the pod.
What's he up to now?
Jeff Peters sent me a message just to let me know how he was doing. He said, you talked about Vazino last week. He said he's gone up to, I can't remember what number Jeff came up to, but now he's on 15.7 million.
God, 15 million. I mean, that's his life.
It's mad, isn't it?
A big shout out to a couple of people I spoke to this week who stopped me in the street and said they really like the podcast as well. I just got stopped by a guy on a bike who nearly knocked me over and said, I just want to say that I really enjoy your podcast. He said, that Rich is a bit dull. I said, I know, but I do drag him up every week, don't I? So, no, he didn't say that. I didn't say that anyway. He said there was a good dynamic. I said, I try my hardest. So,
yeah.
And another one who stopped me said they really like the informative podcast about the Balearics. Which
that's
quite good as well, isn't it?
That's good to know. We do our best.
Okay.
But we're always willing to, we should put it out there. We're always willing to talk about subjects and subjects. Sometimes we miss things, do you know what I mean? I know both of us look at the papers all the time and get messages from people. But if there is something specific that you'd like us to talk about or find out about for you, then we're more than happy to talk about it.
Couldn't say that better myself, Rich. Fantastic, mate.
Thank you, Mark.
Great to speak to you as always, and I'll see you next week.
You're not tempted to go to America quite yet?
Not yet. No. I've got the quarters in focus, Rich. So I don't want to count my chickens. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens first, and
all right,
we'll go from there. All right, mate. Speak to you next week.
Take care.
Good to speak to you, buddy.
Bye, mate.
Make me dance.